Some stories in the news help us understand the world we live in, and some news stories are just stupid. For those, we turn to Ronny Chieng.
If you're super rich, the only thing better than spending your money is having other rich people see you spend your money. And the place you do that? Auctions. It's the place where a guy talks so fast that he tricks you into buying crazy shit you don't even need. Like one time I raised my hand at an auction to ask where the bathroom was, and I ended up buying a yacht. And the yacht didn't even have a bathroom. You're just supposed to pee over the side like a barbarian. So auctions were always where the rich went to flex, but now it's just getting stupid.
A little piece of the Force sold for a small fortune. A prototype Star Wars action figure fetched just under $113,000 at an auction in Pennsylvania. Oh my gosh. The rocket-firing Boba Fett figure was originally intended to be part of a toy line for The Empire Strikes Back in 1979, but it never went into mass production. That's because it was deemed a potential safety hazard to children.
That's right, $113,000 for one toy. For that money, you could have bought all of Toys R Us. And the worst part is you're dropping $100 grand on a toy that wasn't even good enough to be released. And I wonder why. Look, I don't remember the part in Star Wars where Boba Fett captures Han Solo with a red dildo. This all just shows you that Star Wars fans will buy any stupid bullshit even remotely related to Star Wars. And that's why I'm going to start selling the Luke Skywalker walker. One thing I've learned about Americans is that Americans love their pets. And I'm here to say, why? Pets are kind of stupid. I mean, you spend all your time picking up their poop, and then on top of that, when they die, you have to go through all the trouble of throwing them in your neighbor's yard. No thanks. But that's just me, okay? Other people are obsessed with their pets, and it's, quite frankly, getting out of control.
A Manhattan restaurant has rolled out a special menu just for dogs.
Check out what's on it. A $42 ribeye steak with steamed veggies, a lemon-drizzled salmon fillet for $28, grilled chicken breast for $16, light bites of carrots and apples, and a berry bowl.
Why are you feeding dogs $40 steaks? You realize dogs will eat their own poop. In fact, if I ran this restaurant, I would just take the poop from my last dog customer and feed it to the next dog customer, okay? The dogs would be just as happy, and you're recycling. Last week in Las Vegas was the annual Consumer Electronics Show, where tech companies give us a first look at all the junk we'll be throwing away in 6 months. And this year was the worst yet. They have a lot of technology and no good ways to use it.
A company called Monit has a cookie-sized attachment that you can put on a diaper, and it's Bluetooth enabled. So anytime the diaper gets dirty, you'll get a notification on your phone.
The sensor can detect whether there's a number 1 or a number 2 in the diaper.
Wow, a diaper with built-in notification. You know what else has a built-in notification? Human shit, all right? Trust me, it'll let you know when it's in the room. Or even the next room, depending on what you ate, okay? You don't need to bring Bluetooth into this. Also, who wants to get notifications on their phone every time their baby takes a crap? Notifications are supposed to be for good things. I don't want to be like, oh, my phone's buzzing. I wonder if it's my food that's here. Oh no, that's just my son's food coming out of its butt. America has a problem with food. You guys want your food to be cheap and fast, but also to be fresh and healthy. That's too many things, okay? You can't have both. It's like racial diversity at a ski lodge. It doesn't exist. And when Americans don't get everything they expect from their food, you end up with dumb lawsuits like this one.
A judge has given new life to a class action lawsuit accusing Poland Spring of selling water that's sourced from wells and not springs. He ruled last week that an amended complaint can proceed with claims in 8 states. Poland Spring's corporate parent, Connecticut-based Nestle Waters North America, reiterated Tuesday that it's a meritless lawsuit and said the judge's decision doesn't undermine its confidence.
That's right. A woman is mad that Poland Spring water doesn't come from a spring. It comes from a well. Yeah, I just told the people in Flint, Michigan about this story, and they said to go yourself. Seriously. Who actually thinks Poland Spring water comes from a spring in Poland? Do you also think your smart water went to MIT? It's all marketing. Although, to be fair, CVS water does come from CVS, okay? It's locally sourced from the CVS break room toilet. Trevor, you probably don't know this, but today is Earth Day. So to celebrate, I got you some Earth.
Oh, whoa!
You're
Ronny, what the
welcome,
hell?
Trevor. As we celebrate Earth, we're also trying to figure out how to save it. Take me, for instance. To help cool the planet, before I left my apartment today, I turned the air conditioning on.
What? No, isn't that contributing to global warming?
No, stupid, I left the window open, of course. But unfortunately for the Earth, not everyone's solutions are as practical as mine.
How can humankind tackle global warming? There are some scientists proposing a technique that's similar to the Earth wearing UV protection sunglasses, apparently, to block out the sun's harmful rays.
Basically, what the proposal wants to do is it wants to send airplanes into the stratosphere, effectively spraying it with aerosols into the atmosphere, almost kind of like working like you're adding extra clouds. When you do that, you essentially are trying to block more of that sunlight.
So your solution to save the planet is to spray more shit into the atmosphere. Let me ask you, what's the point of saving Earth if the whole thing looks like New Jersey? And also, there's no way that will work. It's like trying to get a coffee stain out of your shirt by using blood, okay? Don't believe every life hack you read on the internet. We don't need to dim the sun. We already have 2 dim suns. They're called Eric and Don Jr. Hello! High five, Trevor! Come on! Come on!
I'm not gonna high five you. I'm not gonna high five you.
Oh, sorry, didn't know you were a Trump guy. Anyway, it's Halloween again. Or as I like to call it, the stupidest time of the year. Because you've got dumb kids coming to your house begging for candy, and then you have everyone else trying to come up with a costume that's topical but also hot. Oh, look at me, I'm sexy quid pro quo. What does that even mean? But Halloween also means businesses are pretending they're cool by coming out with spooky promotions, like this guy.
A car wash in Ohio is doubling down as a haunted house. Check it out. Customers can enjoy the spooky experience while riding through the car wash. These actors dressed in scary Halloween costumes will wipe down cars and scare customers. The frightening car wash costs $20.
Not only are you locked in your car in a haunted house, but you're gonna go home with what we think is the cleanest car in Ohio.
The cleanest car in Ohio. Who cares? It's still in Ohio. I'd rather have the second dirtiest car anywhere else. More importantly, why do you have to combine these 2 things? How busy are people? Are you really just sitting around like, yo, I got time for a haunted house or a car wash. I can't do both. Ugh, it's Christmas again. It's just another excuse for you people to send me stupid pictures of your family. Oh, great, another baby dressed as an elf? Wow, thanks for the reminder to get a vasectomy. But now, thanks to all these stupid world leaders not giving a shit about climate change, everything you love about Christmas is gonna disappear.
In our Eye on Earth series, we'll take you to Santa's hometown in the North Pole, where climate change is threatening the reindeer population.
The reindeer feed even through the winter on lichen, a mossy plant they dig down through the snow to get at, except when all that thawing and refreezing means they can't. And when the snow turns to ice, what happens to the reindeer?
We have to feed them.
You know things are bad when your entire species depends on a guy in a weird hat, okay? I mean, what if he oversleeps one day? He'll be like, oh shit, my alarm didn't go off. Now I need to dig a mass reindeer grave. And this is a big problem, okay? Because without reindeer, how is Santa gonna get around? He's gonna have to hitchhike around the world, trading rides for hand jobs, okay? At this point, I think we can all agree that the internet is basically giving us all brain damage, okay? Social media is constantly bombarding us with information we don't care about, like what my friend ate for breakfast, and what my mom's watching on TV, and when my wife had our baby. Ugh. Okay? The point is, social media is destroying everything. Just look at this guy, who went viral for the dumbest thing possible.
Carson King thought he'd get a few laughs.
Just kind of thought it's a joke.
and maybe even a few bucks on ESPN's College Game Day with a sign asking for beer money, along with his actual Venmo account. The money started pouring in.
I had people from Texas, Idaho, California, Massachusetts.
All told, King raised more than $1 million.
This guy got $1 million for beer. Are you kidding me? All he did was hold up a sign. This guy does it on TV and he's a hero. But when I held up a sign demanding money, all of a sudden I'm a bank robber and I took hostages, which is like a federal offense. And the fact that this even worked was stupid, Trevor, but not as stupid as what he did with the money.
He decided he'd donate all of it, minus the cost of one case of beer, to the University of Iowa Children's Hospital. It overlooks the Hawkeyes football field, where at home games, fans turn and wave to the kids. Hearing the news, Venmo and Busch Beer both vowed to match the growing funds.
Wow, he gave all that money to a children's hospital. What an incredible insult to all the hardworking Americans who thought it was for beer. Yo, at least he bought like one case of beer, okay? Although now there's just gonna be some kid who's $12 short of a new kidney, right? Oh, sorry, Timmy, we ran out of money, but we did put this empty can of Bud Light inside of you. Let's just see what happens. And if you think this story couldn't get any stupider, remember, on the internet, no good deed goes unpunished.
The Des Moines Register profiled King, and the reporter dug up a couple of offensive, racist tweets from when King was 16 and sharing jokes from the Comedy Central show Tosh.0.
It was brought to my attention by a reporter for the Des Moines Register, and once he pointed it out, I was really upset with myself.
Well, what a plot twist. The guy who raised over $2 million for sick kids also tweeted offensive jokes 10 years ago. So is he a good person or is he a bad person? I haven't been this confused about how to feel since I got a boner for my great-grandma's yearbook photo. But at least there's a clear lesson here. Never donate money you get for beer to a children's hospital, okay? Because you only become famous if you donate the money. If you keep the money, no one cares and you're rich. And if you think this story doesn't get any stupider, then you are as wrong as the feelings I had for my great-grandmother, okay? Because get this. After a reporter exposed this guy's old tweets, the reporter himself got his own 15 minutes of shame.
Internet users, angry about the paper digging up old tweets, did some digging of their own, this time on reporter Aaron Calvin. And lo and behold, they uncovered derogatory tweets about African Americans, gay people, and women. The Des Moines Register then fired Calvin, saying, quote, "We took appropriate action because there's nothing more important than having readers' trust."
That's right. The reporter who found the racist tweets had even worse racist tweets. Just a classic case of the pot calling the kettle the N-word. Which is why I always say, don't point fingers on the internet, because the internet will finger you right back. So there you have it. The guy who raised the money is canceled, the reporter is canceled, I think the beer got canceled, and everything continues to be stupid.
Yes, but I think it is still a happy ending here, Ronnie, because at least the sick kids are gonna get that money.
Well, actually, Trevor, I dug out some of these kids' tweets and, oh man.
Ronny Chieng, everybody!